The View. Hey, Megan. So, Gretchen Whitmer, who is doing a better job than governor of Michigan, who is doing a much better job than Stacey Abrams, governor of Georgia, at campaigning to be Joe Biden's running mate. And I have to say, credit where due. No one attacks the corporate press more than I do, but it's also important when you are attacking to give credit, to show that it's not always 100%. One thing that often happens with people that the corporate press wants to stigmatize, Tulsi Gabbard comes to mind, is they will ask the same question over and over. And they will do so disingenuously, because if I'm a journalist whose job it is to do research and provide information, and a person has already been asked this question once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times, at a certain point, I'm not asking the question. At a certain point, I am training my audience and bringing this issue into their consciousness. Tulsi Gabbard pointed out that every single time she was on, I think it was MSNBC, they would ask her about meeting with Assad. Every single time. President Trump, there's an example of this. There's a clip reel. You can look it up very easily on YouTube, where they would ask him, why won't you disavow David Duke? And it's like literally a dozen times. I disavow him completely and totally. President Trump won't disavow David Duke. Why haven't you watch him back to back, you're like, oh. And now it's being done to the Democrats. I am shocked and delighted. Governor Whitmer was on The View, and we covered her with Jake Tapper, I believe it was, on this show, where he was asking her about the Joe Biden accusations, and her replies seemed very weak to me. And I say this as someone who does not believe that Joe Biden sexually assaulted Tara Reade. And now she was asked again on The View. Let's see if she can make her forehead move as she tries to get a response.
We've had in any depth at this juncture.
Well, I've got to add one thing. You are a vocal supporter of sexual assault survivors, as you are one yourself. Former Biden Senate staffer Tara Reade has come forward, as you know, claiming Joe Biden sexually harassed and assaulted her, a claim that Biden vehemently denies. What do you make of these allegations, and how should his campaign handle them moving forward?
I don't even know who that is.
Well, I take this very seriously. You know, as a survivor myself, I wanted to know that women are able to come forward and to tell their stories, and we listen to them. For a long time, women were dismissed, and now we are being listened to, and I think that that is really important. As a lawyer, I recognize that it's important that we vet and understand and ask questions and determine credibility of all parties in any type of an allegation. In looking at this, I think that the inconsistencies that I've seen gives me, the judgment that I believe Joe. And I think that it's important to note that the vast majority of women who come forward, statistics show that they are telling the story.
Go back a second to that clip of the two of them standing there. God, this is like the most like evil white people photo I think I've ever seen. Just look at, I don't think Joe Biden almost ever looks evil. Like, there's a lot of things you could say about him. He doesn't look like a malevolent human being. But you look at this picture, and it's like these are like the landlords who are going to kick you out on Christmas because they can. Like, this is like the opposite of Daddy Warbucks. Like, these are the rich parents you don't want adopting Annie because you know they're going to just warp her. Oh my God, the depravity. I often talk about, like, I don't know if Biden's a WASP. I don't think he's a WASP. He's like Irish or whatever, Catholic background probably. But just looking at them like this, it also seems like a throwback. It does not seem like a contemporary couple. This is like, go on, please.
Does that look like president and vice president to you?
No, it looks, you know what it looks like? This is what it looks like. It looks like the guy who runs the company and his bitch wife, who everyone hates because he wants to give them time off at the factory. He wants to give them some more. And she's like, no, that's coming out of my pocket. Let them earn it. You earned it.
His trophy wife he married 25 years ago.
Yeah. And now she's aged and bitter, and he's trying to fuck someone on the side. She's like, I know where you were, and don't even talk to me about time off, because I know how some of us use our time off, and it's not in keeping with certain wedding vows, even though I'm the second wife.
They are telling the
awful.
story that is true. In this instance, I do believe Joe Biden, and everyone needs to make that judgment, weigh the facts, and make the determination for themselves. But the Joe Biden that I know is inconsistent with what we have seen and what we have heard around this particular allegation. And I think for a lot of the same reasons that Meghan herself has cited in terms of her tweets, I think that it's the reason that I'm comfortable. Then I will continue to enthusiastically support Joe.
Okay, interesting. She got her message together between the Jake Tapper thing, so she was ready. So credit to her for being able to give the spiel coherently and consistently.